Team Fluent Artists, what's happening? We are live. Let me get my little chat ready over here. Come in, say what's happening so I know that you can hear me. All right, there we go. All right, awesome. I'm gonna share my screen because you're here right now, man. You want to learn how to sell art online in any economy. So I'm gonna show you exactly how we help artists just like you do that. All right. And so Tierra, she sold this piece for 2K, Galactic Jellies. Jasmine, man, she had a great success. She said Prince, the gift to keep on giving. We also gonna talk about how she made over $15,800 in only 20 days. Type yes in the chat if that's something that you like to accomplish. And then Jasmine, she told me that she needed to make 5K a month to go full time. She ended up making $5,527 in the first week. Shout out to Miss Joe with that cash on the table. Tierra taught her kids how to sell art. We're going to share more about that story as well. Shout out to King Art, John Tay with the 2K piece. All right. And so artists just like you are selling art right now all over the world. My man Joe Woods with a $2,000 piece right there. He said he just grinding, getting to it. Miss Jovan got her daughter Son Yu getting that cash, that art money. Miss Tasha right there sold this piece for over $1,000. All right. So this system that we're going to show you flat out works. All right. And so type yes in the chat, man. If you like to get over 37 new collectors in your first 72 hours of actually advertising your art, just type yes in the chat. Miss Anitra was so excited and surprised that she sent a text in the middle of the night. She was like, Sharess, I truly apologize. And normally I wouldn't send a message this late, but I couldn't hold back the excitement. 19 total collector opportunities and 2 scheduled collector calls. And then the following day, she said, by the way, your girl is up to 37 leads, 3 collector appointments, and lots of great comments about what inspired them to get the download. All right. So this system flat out works to bring collectors to you. All right. We call this our automated collector system. And so Jasmine, man, one of the things I'm so proud about her with her story, because she was like many artists that are watching right now. I met her on this live presentation. And so she said, let me put this in perspective for you guys. For years, I gave away my art for free. I joined the Fluent Artists January last year. 1 year ago, I was still selling most of my original art for $200. And my biggest sale this time last year was $500 to a hospital. This month, if I make no more money for the next 10 days, I will have total to make $15,800. I am floored. I never thought this was possible for me. Thank you, Sharess, for giving us the tools to make this passion into a business and for investing your time into my life. Thank you to the other Fluent artists. It's the community that fuels the fire. All right. And so if you're here right now, my goal is simple. Like I want to help you become an affluent artist. And so if you are a new artist, you get a step-by-step blueprint on how to create art that sells itself on Instagram. So you become an affluent artist that collectors love to buy and tell everyone about. If you are a master among us, you'll get the affluent artist secrets on how to smoothly transition to selling your art online at higher prices so you can keep more of your money and get the worldwide recognition and status you deserve from the art industry. All right. Then every affluent artist gets access to the brand new artwork app that makes it simple to sell your art and keep collectors buying over and over again. And so this new opportunity is the key to your desire to consistently sell art online. And it's only achievable by becoming an affluent artist. If I help you become an affluent artist so you can make more money selling art, will you promise to spend a little bit of that with me and my company in the future? Just type yes in the chat. All right. And so my name is Sharess. And like many of you, I've been an artist my entire life. The picture at the top left, that's young Sharess. When I was a kid, man, I used to love drawing the cartoons and the cereal boxes, all those characters. And then a picture at the bottom left, that's a portrait I drew of my son and I for his first birthday. All right. And then I'm also a hooper. Man, I played Division I college basketball up in Chicago. And while I was in college, listen, man, I didn't have any kind of art collectors, sales skills, you could forget about it. Plus my house burned down and I lost all of my art. And so in 2007, I became a starving artist dropout, man. I was really frustrated. We had lost everything. Things weren't really going well with art. And I just kind of got tired of school. And so, as you can imagine, like my confidence was low. It was still really hard to sell art and try to break into the art industry. And so I ended up becoming obsessed with mastering business online. And I knew the first thing that I needed was a mentor, right? The fastest way to accomplish anything is to get help from someone that's already done it instead of trying to figure out how to do it yourself. And so I ended up writing a letter to 19 multimillionaires. And Mike, this gentleman, Mike Cannings, he was the first person that actually responded. And so he ended up hiring me and mentoring me. And the first thing we did was we worked on a product launch, and we made $1,800,000 in 7 days. All right. So I was really blown away about being a part of a team that helped create that result. And so I ended up writing a book about it, and I became a #1 best-selling business author of the book How to Create Lifetime Customers. And so I've spoken on stages around the world, teaching people how to sell their products and services online. Okay. And I've also helped celebrities like Cynthia Bailey launch their products as well. And I've helped a lot of creators just like you make money. Now, even with this success, I still had dreams of being a full-time artist. I typed me in the chat if you're working a job right now and you still want to be a full-time artist. I typed me in the chat. That was definitely me. And then I had an epiphany one day, and I was thinking about it because I'm talking to so many artists. And I realized there were a lot of artists that are on what we call this income roller coaster, where you like make money some months or some years, and then some months and some years you don't, right? And that's really a cause of you not having a consistent flow of collector leads and sales. And so I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, what would happen if I applied those #1 best-selling internet marketing and sales principles to fine art? And so I had a crazy plan. I said, I'm going to host my first art event, and I want to plan to sell out the show. All right. And so we did just that, man. This is me with one of the collectors right there, man. And most importantly, they were buying art. All right. And so type yes if you want to sell your first or next piece for $2,000 or more at your next event. All right. Type yes in the chat. And so this is my friend Melissa, man. She's one of the first artists at that event. And she said, flashback to this dope art investors event by Sharess. All of these pieces sold and have already doubled in value. All right. And so, but while we were at this event having a great time, we were selling art. I realized we had some very real problems though. All right. So first, doing it the old way, it cost me over $5,000 up front. And I knew a lot of artists didn't just have $5K to launch a show. It also left all of our art sales disorganized because we were using tools like Cash App, Venmo, Square, PayPal, Cash, really anything we can get our hands on to transact these payments. And that left everything very difficult to track. Plus, the biggest problem, you couldn't easily follow up with the collectors that have just spent thousands of dollars with us, right? So like Cash App, for example, if you sell something on Cash App, you generally don't get the person's phone number, email, home or business address, and you definitely don't get their credit card information on file so you can follow up and make another sale really easily, okay? So that was a big problem because we were leaving a lot of money on the table. And so this is what inspired the Affluent Artist movement because I couldn't find a solution. I had to create a new way for you to have 100% unlimited access to your collector's information and a tool that makes everything easy to sell art on and offline. Because as an affluent artist, you need one system that accepts payments up to $1 million. You should be able to easily sell your art anywhere, in person or online. You want to be able to track your art, your sales, and your collector's information in one place. Collectors can also buy your art with one click, like they're buying something on Amazon. Ideally, we want collectors to track their net worth in your art so they can see your value increase as an artist. And we wanted to bring interested collectors to you instead of you having to chase people down. All right. And so back to that first art show results. So I did not reach the goal of selling 100% of the artwork, but I did sell 2/3 of the art. Every artist made money, which was most important to me. And we had sales of $500, $1,500, and one artwork sold for $2,000. Okay. And so we took this show on the road, man. After that first event in Atlanta, artists invited us to come consult and teach them how to sell art down in Miami at Art Basel. All right. So this was me with some of my friends down there. Man, we were having a great time. And we were helping artists sell art. And so we had done a couple of shows at this point. I'm like, man, this stuff is really, really working. Like, what would happen if we started to apply these principles to selling art online, which is what I wrote my book about, right? And so I ended up getting a small group of artists together. Chris Smith is one of them. And when she came to us, she had a small email list of 32 collectors, okay? And so we ended up sending out one email, and she sold 13 canvas prints just with one email. I type yes in the chat if you like to send out an email to get collectors to buy from you. Just type yes in the chat. And then Santana, she started using the method. She got a $360 sale. Sold Money Monday. My guy Dwayne, he says sold another piece of art gone like the wind. And so if you've been struggling to sell your art, artists, listen, it's not your fault because I went to college for art and design, right? I was playing basketball. I was also studying art and design. And while you have some incredible teachers that's really knowledgeable about art and the history of art, and you'll be inspired by a lot of your classmates, they don't really tell you how to sell your art or how to market yourself to get collectors to build like a sustainable career. Okay. And so after this experience, I'm like, man, now let's get collectors 24/7 on autopilot. Let me see if we can really crank up like these internet marketing chops that I developed. But the solution was really hard and expensive to create. All right. And so I ended up blowing over $30,000 in over a year, hiring two dev teams to create artwork, and they didn't even finish the app. And so I invested every penny to my name. So I really thought about giving up. But I knew going back to the old way wouldn't work for me. So I found a third dev team and I tried one more time. Listen to Fluent Artist, the new artwork app and the automated collector system I created, it started working so well, many artists were selling art within the first 7 days. All right. And so one of my favorite stories is from Kira. She was one of the youngest artists that started at the time. She was 18 years old and she had just graduated high school. And so she did not have a lot of experience creating art. She had zero experience selling art, and she actually holds the fastest sale of only 19 hours. Okay. So I was really proud of Kira selling art within the first 19 hours after we taught her how to sell. All right. And then my guy Z, he posted in the community. He said, "Hey team, I haven't had a chance to report on my record-breaking success this past week." He ended up getting $1,829 in deposits by selling 7 prints and 8 commissions in 1 week. I type yes in the chat if you'd like to accomplish that. And then a Fluent Artist, Jen. Jen is a single mother of 4 kids, and she sold a piece in a little over 24 hours after we taught her how to sell. Okay. You see, she posted in the community. So it took a little longer than 24 hours, but I have my first sale. It's amazing how much money I left on the table by not following up. All right. And then Jen, she continued to invest into her career and develop as an artist. And she got invited to Art Basel, and she ended up selling a piece for $5,840 at Art Basel. All right. And then she got invited to London to attend Sotheby's Art Business Institute of Art. And so she went to learn the business and the auction game directly from Sotheby's and Christie's, which was huge because they are making hundreds of millions of dollars every year selling art. And so there's a lot of value to be learned from them. I type yes in the chat if you would love to learn directly from Sotheby's in London on how they're selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of art at auctions. All right. I know I do, man. So I'm glad to have Jen as a coach in our community to be helping other artists and sharing her wisdom. All right. And so after creating artwork and helping all kind of artists around the world transform into a Fluent Artist, I realized we no longer had to wait for galleries to accept us or wait on word of mouth to sell art or already have a big following on social media. I realized the truth is that old way of being a starving artist was dead. All right. And so if you want to be a full-time artist, man, this is literally your golden ticket to become a full-time successful artist selling your art to collectors online. Now, in order to do this, though, I need something from you. And that's one word, that is belief. All right. Because I will give you the solutions to become a full-time Fluent Artist, but you have to believe you can and put it into action. Nothing hurts me more than giving you the game than seeing you weeks, months, or years later clinging to the same starving artist problems. All right. And so type yes in the chat if you're ready to start setting sales goals and exceeding those sales goals like Brisha Jones. So she said, okay, for the first quarter of this year, I set a goal to make $12,000. As of today, I'm super happy to have hit 13K instead. Keep going, motivation of Fluent Artist. Type yes in the chat, man, if you want to start surpassing your sales goals like Brisha Jones here, okay? And then because of all the success we will have in helping some senators from the country of Barbados actually flew me into their country to help those artists on the island. And so when the around us, tourism dried up. And so people stopped traveling to Barbados. And so the artists weren't really selling any art. And so they brought us in to teach them what I'm going to show you in this presentation. So make sure you get your pen and pad ready so you can apply this wisdom, okay? And then also, man, because of our success, I got invited to BlackRock to speak on investing in art, all right? And BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager. They got over $10 trillion in assets under management. So type yes in the chat if you like to be directly connected to wealthy collectors that look at your art as an investment. I just type yes in the chat. And so listen, y'all, artists, after over 20 years in business and helping artists sell worldwide. I want you to type yes in the chat if it's your turn to get new collectors and sell your art online. All right, type yes in the chat for me. Because once you discover these 3 secrets, you'll have the keys to get new collectors online so you can accomplish your dream vision for your art career. All right. And then Bresha Jones, man, using these secrets, she sold a piece for over $5,000 from a brand new collector. Just type yes in the chat if you like to start selling pieces for over $5,000 like Bresha Jones. Cool little thing about Bresha too, she always put like some extra numbers on the end. So she don't sell it for 5,000. It'll be 5,008, right? She always does that, man. So shout out to Bresha for getting that extra little tip. All right, just type yes in the chat. And so let's get into these 3 secrets to selling art online. All right, secret number 1, how to make your artwork speak for itself and sell for $2,000 or more on Instagram. So I told y'all I went down to Art Basel. And when I'm down in Art Basel, like I'm making a point to talk to as many so-called industry experts as I can, right? And just about all of them were really trying to discourage my goals with what I wanted to do with my art, right? They're like, Sharess, well, nobody really knows your name. You dropped out of college. You don't have any gallery representation, like all of these reasons that I couldn't sell art. I just put me in the chat if this sounds familiar. If there's been industry experts or so-called experts or even family and friends try to talk you out of your art dreams, just put me in the chat if that sounds familiar to you, okay? And if it is, I want to let you know that I'm on the other side of this. So I believe in your creative dreams. I know what's possible for you, your art, and your career, okay? And so let's play a quick little game called Could You Do It Better? Have some fun with me in the chat. Just type yes or no if you think you can do this better, all right? There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to see what kind of artists we got in the house tonight. Just type yes or no if you think you can do it better, all right? And this piece is titled Van Gogh Portrait of Dr. Gachet. All right, it's Van Gogh Portrait of Dr. Gachet. Now, why is this piece famous? It is the story. All right, it's the story. And when you create stories for your art, the story has to touch your collector's emotions. All right, very, very important. All right. And so I know many of you were taught to sell your art for higher prices, basing it on time and size. All right. But when you really think about it, pricing based on time doesn't really make sense. We know as an artist, the more time you spend creating, the faster and more efficient you get at creating art. So it don't really make sense to charge less because it takes you less time, right? That don't really make sense. And then size, like we know wall art, like this Biggie piece behind me, can be more valuable than paintings on the side of a wall, like a big mural, right? So it's not really about size or time. The way we teach how to sell your art for higher prices is by creating your very own art story. All right. And that's ART story. And that's an acronym. And so we're going to break this down for you. Make sure you're taking notes so you can apply this to your art, because this will help you start making sales today. Okay. And so I discovered this secret at our very first live event with my friend Melissa. All right. She's the true definition of an affluent artist. And so a couple of things I noticed about her. She presents her art very beautifully, right? You see it in the back on the easel. She got a business card there. And she also creates wearable art. So the head wrap is something that she made as well. And when she got the mic and started talking about her art, man, she really had every collector in the room on the edge of their seat, because she created these custom stories for each one of her pieces. And she was the only artist that did that. Literally no one else had these compelling stories. Like they had the name, the size, and they would kind of give you some thoughts and ideas about what inspired them to make it, but they didn't have their own complete stories, okay? And this is how we sold a piece for $2,000 at that very first event, really based on the power of the story. And so the collector who bought, like, he didn't have a clue who she was, right? And I'm like, man, you don't know Melissa. You don't follow her on IG. You don't know any of the brand partnerships or deals that she's done. I was like, man, why would you invest over $2,000 in an artist that you don't know anything about? And he simply said, Sharess, I think the art is great, but it was the story that got me and that made me want to invest, right? And so if you have this problem that I see all over social media, where you posting online, but you getting very little engagement like this post, or if you're getting a lot of engagement, a lot of comments, people showing you a lot of love, but you're not getting any sales, literally all you got to do is add your art story and you can start selling art today, okay? This is free game. Start using your art story. You can start selling art today. So Jasmine, when she posted this sold piece, she said, I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night. And I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude, art story, and organic conversation building relationships really work. All right. And so again, using that art story when you post it on social media can help you start getting some sales today. All right. And then type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first or next piece for over $1,000, like Miss Raquel here. Just type yes in the chat. All right. And then Brisha Jones, type yes in the chat if you like to sell art for over $6,200. All right. So I told you, Brisha, don't sell it for $6,200. It got to be $6,209. All right. And this piece, Fearless Expanded, represents a very special piece for Brisha, right? She said she was speechless when she sold this for two reasons. One, it was the biggest piece she had ever sold, a 60 by 48. And that $6,209 price tag was the highest price that she had ever sold for, right? So this was an accomplishment for her, man. So shout out to Brisha Jones using this system and this process to break her own sales records. And so I want to read a little bit about what the collector said as their reason behind why they wanted to invest into this piece regardless of the price. All right. So she said, my husband and I had a hard week and an already pretty messed up year. I know we're not special in any regards. Everything seems hard right now for everyone. When my husband and I saw your painting, we first both said, wow, we love that. And then we talked about how it made us feel. Hope, moving out of our comfort zone, leaving a bad year and entering a new place. Fearlessness. When we read your thoughts on it as well, it just seemed like we needed it in our home. Thank you for painting this beautiful piece. It will be the conversation piece of the many meals we share with friends as we embrace a new era in the world, one of expanding fearlessness, okay? And so type yes in the chat if you see the power and the impact of the story that this abstract piece, Fearless Expanded, had on these collectors that really touched what they were going through in their life. And that's what made them want to buy, okay? It's all about that story that makes the connection to the art, all right? So let's get into this art story acronym. Take these notes. So I'm gonna break it down for you step by step. All right. So A equals the art star. Who's the art star in your art story? All right. Every story has to have a star of the show. Okay. And then R equals the role. What's the art star's role in your art story? All right. Who are they? What do they want to accomplish? Who are they becoming? All right. Just think about the role. And again, this works for abstract art as well. And then T equals twist. What's the emotional twist in your art story? All right. And so if you watch movies, right, you know, a good movie will have you on the edge of your seat, anticipating the twists and turns, trying to figure out what's going to happen next. Okay. And we can use these same elements inside of our visual art as well. And just like Brisha Jones, it works for abstract art, like her piece, Fearless Expanded. All right. And so let me show you how this Vincent Van Gogh piece used the art framework to sell this for an astronomical price, okay? And so A equals the art star, right? That's Dr. Gachet. R equals the role Van Gogh's doctor. But then what's the twist of Fluent Artist? The twist is the doctor may have killed Van Gogh, all right? So y'all know people nosy, man. People love murder mysteries, trying to solve it, figure out what happened, who done it. And so this piece was talked about so much that actually when it went to auction, that it ended up selling for a record-breaking $82.5 million at Christie's, okay? That's $82.5 million with an M, all right? So I'm gonna have a quick little fun, man. In the chat, I know some of you all are here because you want to sell your first piece for a couple $100, $1,000, or maybe $5, $10, or even $100,000, all right? But if you want to make millions like Sherez, put $82.5M in the chat for me. You can put the money bag emoji. You can put the money that's flying. You can put the emoji with the smiling money tongue. Just let me know if you really want to make some money, make millions with your art in the chat, because success leaves clues. If they can do it, we can do it as well, okay? And so I just showed you how becoming an affluent artist and creating your art story allows your art to truly sell itself for higher prices. Type yes in the chat if you can see how your art story helps you sell more art, all right? And again, this is something that you can do today, all right, with your art story for free to start selling your art online, all right? It's not enough to just post your art and say, email or DM me for the price. You got to share a story. You got to get people emotionally invested into your art, and that's what's going to make them want to buy it, okay? And so this works for you if you are a painter, a sculptor, you do acrylic pours, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, even AI art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It literally works for all affluent artists at all prices, okay? And so again, my friend, affluent artist, Miss Melissa Mitchell, using the power of her art story, she sold 100% of her available artwork at our live event, and it was all powered by her storytelling, okay? And so let's get into this second secret, man, of the 3 secrets to selling your art online. All right, secret number 2 is how to sell art to collectors that buy with one click on a new, easy-to-use app. All right, now I got to tell y'all this story, man, because this piece represents a turning point in my career as an artist and as a collector. And so I ended up running to one of my old classmates from the College of Art and Design, and he invited me to his show. All right. And so, man, I'm an artist, but I'm also a collector, and I love supporting local artists in my community here in Atlanta. And so I go down to my guy's show. I'm walking through the spaces, man. He has some incredible art in there. But this piece really struck my eye. And so, like, I love the colors, like the pastel colors. I love the hairstyle. I love the part in the hair, the earrings, the profile, the expression. Like, everything about this was really fly to me. And so when I saw it, I stepped to my friend and I was like, yo, man, I want to buy this. And I'm practically like handing my business credit card to him, pushing it in his chest. And the words that came out of his mouth next really left me speechless. He said, Sherez, I can't take your money because people usually cash at me. And I was really blown away because he turned down a sale. Like, put me in the chat if you've ever had to turn down a payment because you couldn't accept the payment. And as I do these live, I'd be so surprised. There'd be so many artists that are turning down money, right? Like, we can't be turning down money in 2026, okay? Because if you turn it down cash, that is absolutely one of the old, slow, hard, and expensive ways to make money, because you actually giving money away or you're not accepting it, right? And so rule number 1 is get paid. All right, everybody put get paid in the chat. You got to get paid for your art. We can't be turning down payments, okay? And so if you can't take payments, man, we got to step your game up so you can accept all sorts of payments, okay? If you're using tools like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, all of these will work to help you get paid. But at certain price points, collectors don't want to send you a $10,000 Cash App. Why? They don't get a receipt. If you don't ship it to them, they can't get their money back, right? It's a lot of issues that come with that after certain price points, okay? So we want to make sure that you're presenting your art in a professional way so a collector can get documentation that goes along with their purchase, okay? And then social selling, right? Put guilty in the chat if you've ever dropped a photo of your art and said something like email or DM me for the price, right? And so we know that doesn't work that well. Put guilty in the chat. I know a lot of artists are doing that. I still see that every single day. All right. And if you're taking orders on paper, all right, we're not gonna get you to tell on yourself there, but we got to raise your game up. Applying and paying for shows. So again, if you are applying and paying for shows and you making sales and it's working, continue to do that. Double down on what works. But then there's another side to that. You have a lot of artists that will rent out trucks or vans. You pay the booth fee. You set up at the show, at the event, and you don't sell anything. You take everything home, right? That sucks. And a lot of artists don't want to continue doing that, okay? And then also, like, if you got like a website or you putting your art on marketplaces and you're not selling anything, you don't know how long people staying or coming, man, we solve all of these problems with creating artwork, all right? It's going to allow you to accept payments anywhere in the world. Collectors have their credit cards on file so they can buy your art with one click. And artists are selling art quickly with it. All right. Tierra said, I just uploaded some of my original art on the app a couple of days ago, and about 30 minutes ago, got a notification that one of my pieces sold. Still in shock a bit at how quick the sale happened, but great way to end the night. Seriously, thank you, Sherez, for perfecting the app. It definitely is a game changer for us as artists. And so we're going to show a quick little artwork demo video to show you how simple and easy it is to load your art. So you can access a global marketplace of collectors that can buy your art with the click of a button, so they have their credit cards on file and they can track the value of their art collection.
Hey, my name is Sherez May. I want to give you a quick demo of the Artwork app. So the Artwork app does 2 very simple things. All right. If you are an artist, it allows you to sell your art, get collectors all over the world, and manage all of the most important key metrics in your business. And if you are a collector, it makes it simple for you to buy art with the click of a button and track the value of your art collection. All right. And so I'm going to show you the artist side of the dashboard first, then I'll pause and take you to the collector side. So when you're logged in as an artist, and you're on your sales dashboard, you'll see your gross revenue, how many pieces you sold, what's the average price. All right. And this sales graph will show you your sales over any amount of time. Right here, you can set a sales goal. If you set it for $100,000, if you made some sales today, that number will be in blue at the top, and this dial will show you how much you've made. We haven't made any sales today. This is our test account. And if you hover over it, you can see how many sales you made today. And it's really simple to add a new goal as well. As you start making sales, you'll see your top sellers right here. So you see it by name, how many pieces you sold in case you have prints or multiples, and you'll see how much revenue you made from each piece. Right here under your new orders tab, you'll see your latest orders. And so you stay on top of what needs to be shipped out. Down here at the bottom, you'll see your top collectors. So you'll see them by name, how many pieces they own in their collection, and how much money they've invested with you in your art business. All right. And then once you go to your artwork tab, this is where you'll see all of the art that you have listed on the site, ready for sale, and also in the marketplace for collectors to buy with one click. So let's say you want to add art. It's very simple. You click add artwork. You just have to fill out these fields right here. And once you click save, it'll save it. I'm just going to close that. If you want to email it to a collector, you can click share offer, enter your collector's email, send the offer. Email is already pre-written. They can click directly to the link and buy your art. If you like to copy a link, you can copy it as normal and send it via text message or share it on social media. And also, if you want to delete your product, it's very simple and easy to delete. As collectors begin buying art from you, you'll see collectors in your dashboard. So you see all of the information right here, so you can contact with them and follow up with them and make future sales. If you click on their dashboard, you'll see a list of all of the art they purchased from you here. As your orders start coming through, you'll see your order and payment history right here. So you see if they were successful or failed transactions, all right, who bought it, the artwork, the purchase amount, and the date. And then as your money is being in transit to your bank account and deposited, you will also see your payouts here, all right? And so when you want to begin buying as a collector, all you have to do is click switch to collector, and it'll take you to the collection side of the marketplace, all right? And again, this is our test marketplace right here, but I'm going to pause for a moment to show you how simple it is to buy as a collector. So now I'm logged into the app as our test collector. And so you see when art is sold out, it'll be sold out in the marketplace, all right? And you can just scroll through the marketplace to check out all of the art that's available on the dashboard, all right? And so let's say if you want to buy something, it's very simple. You can click buy now, and we have your card on file. You can choose which card you want to use. If you need to add a new one, you can do that. But let's say we want to select this card. We click confirm order. And it's that simple, all right? It's purchased. And so now if you want to go check your collection, you can click collection, and it'll take you to your collection. You see we just purchased this one right here, all right? So you can see all of your active collection. And as you are buying from artists, you can also see the artists that you're purchasing artwork from, all right? So I'm going to go back to the marketplace real quick. And let's say if you want to add it to your cart, you can add it to your cart. So you want to get a couple in there. And you can easily check your shopping cart and go to the checkout page and buy all of the pieces at the same time. So it's a very simple tool for artists to sell their art, and also for collectors to buy and track the value of their collection as well. All right. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Talk to you soon.
Awesome, man. So let me know in the chat if you love artwork. All right, type yes in the chat. You put some emojis down there if you really like how simple and easy it is to use artwork. So I want to answer a few FAQs. So first, artists, you set your own price. We like to write out art story and put that in the description. So when a collector pulls up the product page, they can read the story and fall in love with the piece. Artists, you ship directly to your collector. You get paid fast. So sales deposit in your account in 24 to 48 hours. And then artwork gets a small 10% commission, all right? And so we love to celebrate all different types of art, different sales and different price points. So Jen, she sold Purpose for over $1,000 on artwork. Tierra sold Bright Futures, love the pastel colors in that one. And then Christina sold Veil of Night. All right. And so Miss Magdalena, she said, I am very happy. I sold my first piece in artwork. Many thanks to my new collector. Type yes in the chat if you like to sell a piece like Miss Magdalena did. Like she sold natural for over $1,850 on artwork as well. Okay. And so now I'm showing you how using the artwork app allows you to easily sell more art online and keep all of your prices, collector, and business information in one place. Type yes in the chat if you can see how this saves you time, money, and makes it simple. All right, man. So let's get into our third secret to selling art online. This is a fan favorite right here. So make sure you get your pen and pad out. If you have not taken any notes, you absolutely need to get this one. All right. So secret number 3, how to attract the collector spending millions on art with Sotheby's using Instagram and AI. All right. Now, after our first wave of affluent artist success, I knew I wanted to help more artists get high income collectors online with AI and online ads. I've seen artists struggling to make sales with their posts on social media and in these art groups. And so if you know, like I know, man, likes and engagement and comments do not equal money in the bank. Okay. And so, and then I love friends and family sales, right? Like Tierra, she sold the Galactic Jelly for $2,000. Mr. Emmanuel, he sold his portrait to a sister at his church for $500. But sometimes the friends and family sales can run out. All right. And then we need to go global. All right. Type global in the chat if you want to start selling art to collectors in your state or citywide state, in the country, in your region, or if you want to sell it around the world. All right. You can absolutely do that with this strategy to show you. Okay. Now, because of my experience buying ads on social media, I knew there was only one place I needed to go to get ready to buy collectors, and that is Instagram. Okay. That's Instagram. All right. And so Christy, man, she was brand new to selling her art online and using this process to sell on Instagram. And so she was so excited about it. She said, okay, I'm about to cry right now. On my own way of selling, I have gotten $200 for this piece. It would have taken me a while to even get that. So I followed the steps of this course. I made an ad. I spent only $7. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7. And she sold a piece for $700 or more. And it only took her a few hours to sell. All right. So Christy was brand new to this, her first time trying it. She got a $700 sale in only a few hours after advertising. And she made over $2,350 in her first 3 weeks. I type yes in the chat if you like to start selling art like that and getting that type of return. I just type yes in the chat. Okay. All right. And then always remember, artists, if she can do it, success leaves clues, then you can do it as well. Okay. And so Forbes, they posted this article. They was like, with Sotheby's $363.2 million sale, the art market passes the first major test of the pandemic. And then Business Insider, they shared, for now, the art world has gone digital. And for some, that's a good thing. Artsy, which is an online art marketplace, they saw a 92% increase in e-commerce sales in April, and interest from galleries increased by 60%. All right. And so Ally say, how much is membership or work placement? I don't membership or work placement in what? All right. You got to clarify your question. All right. Ask questions. You got questions, type your questions in the chat. All right. So when we get into the Facebook and Instagram ad dashboard, I want to bring your attention to these 2 red boxes. So the first red box at the top left, the location is United States. All right. So I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. We're in the US. I want you to start in whatever country in which you live. Okay. We can go global as long as the country has Facebook and Instagram on the in the country. If they have access to that platform, you can advertise to them. But because of the shipping, man, it's going to be a lot easier for you to like manage the shipping, starting with the country in which you live. Okay. Then at the bottom red box, it says Sotheby's. All right. So type yes in the chat if it makes sense to you to target Sotheby's when we saw that they had a $363.2 million sale, right? That makes sense to me. So that makes sense to you like it do to me. We click the green create ad button in the top right. It's going to take us to a section called detail targeting, okay? And so when we go to the detail targeting, we can target the Sotheby's brand and all those collectors that's spending millions of dollars on art with Sotheby's, right? And then when we type the word financial, everybody put the word financial in the chat. When we put the word financial here, it's going to show us the top 5% of income earners that's spending millions at Sotheby's. It'll show us the top 10% of income earners that's buying this art at Sotheby's. And it'll show us the top 10 to 50% of income earners that's buying all of this art at Sotheby's, okay? And so listen, man, this right here would transform your life. If this is your first time seeing this wisdom, put wow in the chat, put the mind blown emoji in the chat. Like, let me know how you feel learning that you can target collectors by how much money they make. All right. I'm gonna give you a couple of more examples to really bring it home. All right. And so in this example, we see Art Basel in the bottom red box. And so Art Basel is one of the biggest, most popular art fairs in the world, if not the biggest, right? And so to go to Art Basel, man, that's a huge investment. You got to get a flight, hotel, food, drinks. You got to get tickets to go to the convention center where they have the main Art Basel showroom at the Miami Convention Center. And then you got all the other little pop-up galleries and shows and experiences that surround the main convention center. All of that stuff costs money to go to Art Basel. And then you got to buy the art, right? Let's not forget about the art. You got to spend money on the art. And so if we want to target those collectors that's spending all that money to go to Art Basel and to buy art there, if we go to the detailed targeting section, we type in that word financial, it's going to show us the top 5% of income earners, top 10% of income earners, and we can expose our art to the top 10 to 50% of income earners. All right. I'll give you another example to really bring it home. So we saw the Business Insider article that said Artsy had a 92% increase in e-commerce sales. So it makes sense to me to put my art in front of the collectors that are increasing buying art online. All right. So we do that. We go to detailed targeting. We type in the word financial. Boom. The top 5% of income earners that's spending money on Artsy, the top 10% of income earners, and the top 10 to 50% of income earners that's buying art on Artsy. Okay. And so when we do this, artists, now we have what I call the keys to success. Because if you want to sell art, you have to make sure your collectors have two very important things. The first thing is these collectors have the willingness to buy art. And that simply means that you like art, right? If you like Sotheby's, Art Basel, and Artsy, I know that you have the willingness to buy art. The second thing is these collectors have the ability to buy art, right? And we put that financial layering on, that lets us know that these collectors have the resources to buy the art. And when you do this type of access changes everything, okay? And so we have affluent artists using this process to sell art worldwide. So here's Nisha Kapoor. She's Indian. She says, Sharess, your system rocks. I got another celeb lead as a result of my ads, and we spoke on the phone, and the person is willing to buy. And she was the first artist that sold art in Indian rupees, okay? And then Miss Valerie, she sold over $3,250 from her ads, right? And she's a senior and a grandmother. And you see, she said, oh, it was more 60 days money from Facebook ads plus 3 new collectors. If she can do this, you can absolutely do this too, okay? And then Christy, man, she spent $45 on ads and she made over $1,400 in a day and a half, all right? In about 36 hours, she made $1,400. She said, I received over 800 likes, 200 comments, 100 shares, and about 300 messages. I got 14 sales and 10 possibles. So in a day and a half, $45 and 14 hours work, I pulled $1,400. I hope everyone in this group realizes we struck gold, okay? And then my man, Joe Woods, he posted this piece. He said, and this happened last night, sold. He got a $2,000 piece from his ass while he was asleep. All right, put sleep money in the chat if you want to wake up to art sales, all right? Waking up to having sold art because your art ads are running 24/7 around the clock will absolutely transform your art career, okay? And so artists, now I've shown you how to find wealthy, ready to buy collectors with AI and Instagram ads. So as an affluent artist, can you see yourself using this secret to get high paying collectors? Just type yes in the chat if you can see yourself using this secret to get high paying collectors, just like all of these other new artists did as well, all right? And so artists, so far you discovered how to create your art story to raise your prices. You discover how artwork makes it easy to share your art via text, email, or social media. You discover how to sell art to a worldwide collector marketplace. You discover how to get collectors to buy your art with the click of a button. And you discover how to use financial layering to target those high income collectors. And so knowing what you know now, type yes in the chat if you feel more confident pricing your art, all right? Type yes if you are happy that you attended this live class today. I absolutely love doing this live and teaching all of the affluent artists around the world how to sell their art online. Type yes if you realize the advantage you have as an artist using these techniques. Just type yes in the chat. And then type yes if you can see yourself using this to sell more art like all these other artists, because if they can do it just starting out with no experience, you can do it too, okay? And then can you see yourself getting new collectors online using this method, all right? And so artists, now you got two choices. I know we got a lot of brilliant artists here. So you can take this wisdom, you can do this on your own. And I'm sure that's a really worthy option to pursue. All right. But if you really would love to have our team responsible for your success to help you get 10 or more new collectors every single month, type yes in the chat. All right. And so let me know if this would transform your life. Like if you follow what I showed you in secret number 1 and use any one of your art stories so your art sells itself on Instagram, then you did what I revealed in secret number 2. So you can use the artwork app to easily sell more of your art. And then you use secret number 3 to get access to the same high-paying collectors on Instagram that the rich auction houses and galleries attract. Type yes in the chat if you think you could be successful. All right. Type yes in the chat. I know you can be successful if these other artists can do it. Okay. And then type yes if you would like my help. All right. Type yes in the chat if you would love my help. All right. So I want to introduce you to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. All right. This is a fun and easy 5-step system for visual artists to raise prices and get 10 or more new collectors every month online. All right. And so part number 1 is the Affluent Artist Masterclass. So step number 1 is mindset. This is where we teach you our millionaire mindset so you can get rid of any starving artist broke habits. Step number 2 is price. This is where we teach you the luxury pricing method so you can charge and get paid your worth. Step number 3 is soul. This is where we teach our cash collectors framework so you can start selling art for free without spending any money on ads. Step number 4 is collectors. This is where we show you how to create a collector community so you build lifelong relationships with your collectors. And then step number 5 is marketing. This is where we teach you the Facebook and Instagram ads, advertising and using that financial layering so you can target those high income collectors. Okay. And then here's my guy, Christian, man. He's an affluent artist. You see, he created this dope Teyana Taylor piece behind him. And he was really thinking about giving up on his art career before he became an affluent artist. And so just listen to him share his story about his transformation.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's Christian Lamar here, and I'm a portrait artist from VA. Now I just want to tell y'all why I joined the Affluent Artist Masterclass. I went to a great art school and learned from some phenomenal artists, but they never taught me how to sell my work. So after I graduated, I struggled to the point of almost wanting to give up on my dream of being a professional artist. Well, this course changed all of that. It showed me how to turn my art into a business, and most importantly, how to sell online. So now I can sell to anyone, anywhere. And the results are super quick. I made my first sale within 30 hours of starting the program and made just under $1,500 within the first 5 days. And now that I'm in week 4, I've made just over $4,000. And it's super easy to follow. Like, if you're like me and you're ready to fulfill your dreams of being a professional artist, give the program a shot. And you also get to join a community of artists that share their experiences every day of what works. So join me and the family and become an affluent artist today. All right. Peace.
Shout out to my guy, Christian Lamar, man. So again, artists, this works for you if you are a painter, a sculptor, you do acrylic pouring, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, AI art, drawing, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It literally works for all affluent artists at all prices. Okay. And so just shout out to Miss Joy. She got this $4,000 sale in Canada using the Affluent Artist Masterclass. There's one thing about us, man. We always tell the truth about making sales. So that's why we got the $4,000 cash on the table right there. I love when they take pictures of the cash. Okay. Again, artists, this works even if your art isn't ready. So even if you're still working on originals, or if you got to get some supplies together to actually make the art, if you share your art story on social media, you literally can pre-sale art, right? Collectors will pre-order their art before the originals are done. So Jasmine, I explained this to you earlier. She was still working on this beautiful Chadwick Boseman piece, and she starts selling prints the following morning before the art was done. All right. She said art story and organic conversation building relationships really work. All right. So when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, and that's a $5,000 value. All right. Part number 2 is your artwork gold account. I want you to imagine collectors buying from you from anywhere. All right. A collector can buy your art from anywhere in the world as long as they have an account. Okay. And so Jen said, I'm so happy and grateful to have sold this piece. I'm going to supersize my fries tonight. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell a piece for over $2,700 on artwork like Jen right here. And so when you get your artwork gold account, you'll be able to accept payments up to $1 million. You can easily sell art anywhere, in person or online. You'll be able to track your art, your sales, and your collector's information in one place. Collectors can buy your art with one click, like they're buying from Amazon. Collectors can also track their net worth in your art so they can see when your value increases as an artist, okay? And you can get rid of your website fee. So if you got a website right now, it's not selling anything and you're paying for it every month, you can get rid of that. You can get rid of tools like Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. Again, these are good to get paid and get in the game, but after certain price points, collectors don't want to send you a $10,000 Cash App and not get a receipt, all right? Using tools like Artsy, Etsy, art storefronts, paying these fees with hosting and all of these exorbitant fees they have. If you're not selling or you're sick of the fees, you can get rid of that and save that money. Using tools like Shopify, Artwork Archive, Find Art America, etc. Again, if you're using these tools and you're not getting the value out of them, you can get rid of them and save that money. All right. And then one of the most important things is that lost time figuring it out on your own, because now you have a community committed to helping you succeed. All right. And so as an artist, listen, when I first started, I didn't know how to manage my art sales in one place, nor did I know how to track how much my collectors spent with me. I also didn't have a global marketplace where collectors could buy with one click. So I had to create artwork for myself. Okay. And so, you know, you're going to be able to save time and money, because over 6 years ago, I had to spend over $60,000 in 3 years to figure out how to create an app to solve this problem. And so I don't want you recreating the wheel. So I'm going to give you an artwork account with this package so you can skip the cost, the trial, and the error. All right. And so just like Tierra loaded her art, she said she was in shock at how fast she sold some work. You can get the same type of outcomes when you work with us. Okay. And so not tech savvy, listen, it's not a problem. We intentionally made the design for artwork really simple, so it was easy for any kind of artist of any age, any technical skill level or background, so they can get started in less than a minute and start selling their art, okay? And so when you join today, you're gonna get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, you get access to the Artwork Gold account, and that's a $6,200 value, all right? Part number 3 is the Affluent Artist Community. You'll be able to become a member of a real community of people that help each other online, but we also get together offline to do shows, and we attend live shows and events as well. And so we have a global network of artists and collectors that love serving and want to see you succeed. When you join today, you get access to our private Affluent Artist School community. This gives you the knowledge, community, encouragement, and motivation you need to succeed in your art career. And so you can access the program and the community anytime from anywhere in the world. And we give you unlimited support. So we got 24/7 school group access. Plus we have a live weekly sales sessions call to make sure you get all of your questions answered by real people. All right. Me and my team will be on the call, and the other affluent artists in the community to answer your questions to make sure that you're not getting stuck. Okay. And one of the things I love about the community is we have such not only a diverse group of people in the community, but we got a wide variety of ages as well. And so Sanyu, her mom, Miss Jovan, enrolled her when she was 9 years old, and she hit the ground running, started making sales. Miss Phyllis, she joined when she was 73, and she made a sale in her first week. All right. And so, man, from artists as young as 9 to elders 73 and up, we have a very diverse group of artists that look forward to helping you sell your art and sharing the wisdom that works. Okay. And so I just want you to imagine a community of artists that's helping you 24/7. So like my guy Sean here, he's a photographer. He said, lesson learned, follow up every time. You never know why somebody ghosts you. I thought maybe my price was too high for her and she was gone for good. Don't make up your own stories as to why they didn't call back. Just follow up and be polite. All right. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and that's a $7,400 value. Okay. And so artists, if all this did was help your art tell stories so your artwork truly sold itself, like how would that help your art career? Let me know in the chat, okay? And if all this did was help you easily sell your art online in any economy, or if all this did was help you get an infinite amount of high-paying collectors following you and buying your artwork, like how would that help your career? Let me know in the chat, okay? And so putting this program together, I had 2 choices. The first option, I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but that wouldn't incentivize me to really stack the value as much as I could, okay? And then the second option, it required a little higher investment, but in exchange, we can devote more resources to guarantee your success, to make sure that you are successful in selling your art, all right? And so I know many artists here, you want to start selling art for $10,000 or more like Isha. Just type yes in the chat. if you want to sell your first and next piece for 10K. All right. This is what's possible when we use this system to get these automated collectors coming in and talking to you about buying your art. Okay. And so you got to ask yourself, what are your dreams worth to you? All right. Because if you were making money every day because you were successfully selling your art to collectors on Instagram, what would it be worth to you? Like, how much would you pay to have one automated collector system sell your art online 24/7? And so you can see why artists have paid $10,000 for similar results for me, because when you do business with us, it's not a cost, it is an investment. Okay. And so you see why it's worth over $10,000. Even at $5,000 for the general public, it's still a great deal. We got artists like Brescia, Jen, Jasmine, so many others that are selling art for $5,000 or more. All right. Because you watch this masterclass and I want to help as many artists as possible, I'm going to give you a very special offer. So when you join now at affluentartist.com, you won't have to invest anywhere near $5,000. Normally, if we do a deal, it's generally 30% off, but you won't have to invest anywhere near that today. All right. When you go to affluentartist.com, we got a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. And we also have partnerships with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna, so you can get started for as low as $47.96 per month. All right. We wanted to make this a very, very affordable program to make sure as many artists around the world could get access to this system to start selling their art to collectors online and using this automated collector system. All right. So get enrolled at affluentartist.com. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right. Also, again, we got a relationship with these buy now, pay later options. So you can use Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. If you use the Klarna method, they have the lowest payment plan, which is 24 payments of $47.96 per month. All right. It's a very, very affordable plan to get started. So you can start selling your art online today. Just go to affluentartist.com, choose one of the buy now, pay later options at checkout, and go through the full checkout process to get enrolled. Okay. And so artists, listen, if you're tired of putting time and skill into your art only for buyers to continue lowballing the true value of your art, I have some very special bonuses for you to get enrolled today. All right. So bonus number one is a luxury pricing method. This is $1,000 value. So Christy, when she started using this luxury pricing method, she used to undercut herself, sell herself really short on her prices. But when she actually applied this wisdom, she said, holy smokes, I reached out to an old friend and supporter of my art and landed a $1,000 mural job. The system works. I was thinking of asking $800, was hoping for $600, but I boldly asked $1,000 and she didn't hesitate. All right. And so she's a single mom. She watched this same class you're on right now, and she made $1,350 in the first 5 days. All right. You get access to the same system when you go to affluentartist.com. And then Jen, she used the luxury pricing method to sell this piece for over $5,840. All right. She just put the crying emoji. She was so happy. And then Brescia Jones, she used one of the things in the luxury pricing method, which is that art story, to break her sales record, right? She was really speechless about this because it was the biggest piece she had ever sold, a 60 by 48. And it was the highest price that she had sold her art for at the time at over $6,209. Okay. And so I want you to imagine your confidence skyrocketing because your art story has collectors emotionally invested in buying your art at any price. This is your new reality when you become an affluent artist. All right. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get your Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses as well. You're going to get that luxury pricing method, and that's an $8,400 value. Okay. Bonus number two, we're going to give you access to our automated collector system. All right. So this is our series of website funnels to sell your art. We have text messages and email automations that automatically or help you sell to your collectors 24/7 around the clock. And literally all you got to do is put in your words, your art, and any videos, just swap your information out. It's already pre-built for you, and it absolutely works. Okay. And so Miss Anitra, when we first set up her automated collector system, like she was just blown away at how fast things were working. She said, I've always known anything is possible when you believe and do the work. Well, let me say this. Last week on the sales call, I had 277 leads from my Facebook ad. And today I have 468 new collector leads. That's almost 200 new leads in 7 days. Sheress May, thank you. Thank you, sir. Believe me, it can feel overwhelming, but I'm giving myself grace and she's making her collector calls as fast as she can. All right. So she got almost 500 leads in a little bit over 3 weeks, man. That will transform your life. Like, if you know anything about business, if you can get new collector leads coming to you, asking you about buying your work, man, you'll never be broke again. Okay. And so we know many artists suffer from that feast or famine income where you sell art some months and some months you don't sell at all. And so I spent years investing time and money testing which art ads and sales pages work best to turn clicks to collectors so you can have collectors coming to you 24/7 with your art ads. All right. And so we get an endless flow of new interested collector leads joining your email list and buying your art 24/7. This gives you predictable cash to grow your art brand and collector community while sales come in at the same time. And so this is the automated collector system that Christy used when she invested $45 in ads and she made over $1,400 in a day and a half, right? The collectors will come into her, 800 likes, 200 comments, 100 shares, 300 messages. Is when you turn it on, man, it just starts working nonstop, okay? And so if you already have a website that's not selling how you like it, listen, you can keep it if it got sentimental value, or you can get rid of it and save that cost. It don't really matter to me because you can use ours to get new collectors coming to buy your art every day like clockwork. All right, so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method bonus, and you get that automated collector system to bring collectors to you 24/7. All right. That's a total value of over $9,600 that you can get for a fraction of that when you join at affluentartist.com. All right. And then bonus number 3, you're going to be able to find your high income collectors with me on Instagram. All right. So I know many artists, they struggle to get exposure to collectors that can afford their art at the price you think is worth. And so I've spent over $250,000 on Instagram ads, figuring out the best way to target buyers with money. And so you get instant access to what's working now with Instagram ads and AI. All right. And so we put that financial layering on these big art brands. We can start to target the collectors that have money, and you can put your art ads right in front of high income collectors. Okay. And so this gives you exposure to collectors that have disposable cash. You'll be able to leverage AI to target the best collectors for your style. You can predictably get new collectors 24/7 with your ads as well. Okay. And so Jen, she was so excited about it because when she started targeting these high income collectors and selling commissions, she said she got a $4,369 commission. She said, I threw out a random number and they said, can they pay it in 3? All right. And that's one of the ways that you want to raise your price is to test new prices on people that have money. Okay. And so Jasmine, she said she needed to make over $5,000 for the month to go full time as an artist, and she ended up making $5,527 in the first week. All right, you get access to the same system when you go to affluentartist.com. All right, and so artists are using this to make sales every single day. Like my guy Dwayne here, Sean, Miss Valerie, Miss Phyllis, and if you wanted to get like personal in-person access to me and my team and other artists, we do have the $1 Million Artist Mastermind, which is a $25,000 investment. All right, we meet 4 times a year. We do an art show together. But because you will be working with us online, man, you can join for a fraction of that. Literally today, for as a smaller investment as $47.96 when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. Now, if you were to try to go back to art school, hire an online marketing agency, or attempt to get a gallery to sell your work to collectors for you, it might cost you $100,000 in tuition, 50% of your profits, or years of your life trying to figure that out. All right. But you can skip all of these fees and tuition and save your time when you enroll at affluentartist.com. And even if you finance it with Klarna, that's only $1.60 per day to start selling your art online. And that's literally like a cheap breakfast sandwich at McDonald's. Okay. It's less expensive than a breakfast sandwich at McDonald's. All right. And so artists, you got 2 choices. You can do this on your own. And I know that's a worthy option to pursue. All right. But if you like to work with our team and have us personally responsible for your success to help you set up the automated collector system so you get 10 or more new collector leads every single month, go to affluentartist.com and get enrolled today. All right. And we're so confident in our ability to help you set this system up that we have a 110% money back guarantee. And so sign up now. If the Affluent Artist does not help you sell more art and get more collectors, you have 2 options. Option number 1, you can follow the steps, decide it's not for you, and win 110% of your money back. All right. Option number 2, you decide, listen, no, I really want to grow and become a fluent artist, and I want to do this full time. And we'll personally help you get 10 or more new collectors every single month. All right. Now, why do we do this? Listen, we do it for a very selfish reason, and that's because I know it's a win-win. All right. This makes it a no-brainer for you to join, and I know we can help you succeed. When you sign up, I know for a fact one of these 2 things will happen. 1, you will get 10 or more new collectors monthly, or 2, you will win $1,100 from us just for trying it out. Okay. Now, there are some qualifications to win a 110% money back guarantee. So first, earn 100% completion by watching the Affluent Artist Masterclass. We want you to take action on the Affluent Artist Masterclass. Attend the live sales sessions every week so we can answer your questions. Sell art is the most important thing. Use the wisdom to sell your art, and then share your results with us on social media. All right. And so either way, when you work with us, your profit is guaranteed. Option number 1, you follow the steps, decide it's not for you, and you can win your money back. Option number 2, you will grow in Affluent Artist, and we will continue helping you get 10 or more new collectors every single month. Okay. And so the real question is this, like, is it worth taking a few minutes to check this out? Because even if it does half of what I say today, it will pay for itself as soon as you sell one painting for $1,000. All right. And I love to let artists know, like, you're literally just one collector away from transforming your life, because you can get one collector that start buying your art for higher prices, and they become a frequent collector. Then they can share their net worth of high income collectors as well. And so you really just one away from really transforming your entire art career. Okay. And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get 3 very powerful fast action bonuses. All right. So you get that luxury pricing method, so you can raise your price and charge your worth. You're going to get the automated collector system to bring Instagram collectors to you from Instagram 24/7. And then bonus number 3, you'll be able to hop on with me to find your high income collectors, and we'll show you how to set up your art ads correctly. Okay. And so that's a total value of over $10,600. But you can join for a fraction of that for less than $48 a month when you go to affluentartist.com and use the Klarna buy now, pay later option. All right. And so, artists, if you're looking at this blank screen right now, this is an editing marker for me, because everything I'm about to say next, I'm going to cut this out of the video, and I'm showing you this because you are here live. I want to give you something extra special for being here live. All right. And so only for the artists that buy while we're still on live, we're going to give you free lifetime artwork account access. You're going to get a free lifetime artwork account. That's a $1,200 a year value. So normally that's $99 a month. That's going to be free forever. You're going to be able to upload unlimited art. You'll be able to access collectors globally. Many artists will sell art in the first 7 days using this. And again, you're just one collector away from really transforming your life. All right. And that's a free lifetime artwork account for artists that buy live today by going to affluentartist.com. All right. So artists, get started now, man. We're excited to have you inside the community. Congratulations to the artists that's joining. Again, when you join now, you're going to get the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You'll get access to the Artwork Gold account. You'll become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get the luxury pricing method bonus, the automated collector system bonus, and you'll be able to find your collectors with me. All right. You get a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you join at affluentartist.com. And again, we got partnerships with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna, so you can get started for as little as $47.96 per month. All right, it's less than $48 to get started to get access to this full system. We want to make it very affordable. Excited to have you all inside the program. All right, and artists are making sales with this every single day. Like Miss Yvonne stole Spidey senses to this young collector. Diana say happy Friday when she get paid. My guy Dwayne with another sale right there. Blue Robin sharing his first sale. Mr. Bill got his sale right there. And so at this point, man, I see some artists have signed up, and that makes me happy. Congratulations to the artists that joined. Some of you are still here though, and I can tell you're getting ready to sign up, but you have a question you need answered first before making that decision. So let's address those questions in the time that we have left. All right, if you got a question, type your question in the chat. We'd love to answer your question to make sure that you get it answered, okay? Some artists want to know, what if I already have a website? So if you aren't making sales on your website, you can send all your collectors to Artwork and use our automated collector system so you can eliminate hosting costs and those monthly fees. Do collectors need an Artwork account? So collectors can buy as a guest, but we encourage them to get an Artwork account so they can track their art collection. How do I afford the investment? And so many artists ask this question as well. And it's a great question because one of the things that I taught you that you can do for free right now to afford the investment is start telling your art stories with your post. And so you can start pre-selling prints, or you can pre-sell an original before it's done, just sharing your story. All right. And you can use that to get the investment that you need to join the program. Okay. Some artists want to know, how do I make the time? That's a great question as well. And so Brisha Jones, she's a single mom, and she need to figure out how to make the time as well. And she implemented our morning success block to sell this custom commission for $2,572, right? And so the morning success block is simple. All we ask you to do is wake up an hour or two earlier, more if you got the time. But you want to wake up and work on your art vision first, so you give like the freshest, best version of yourself to your art and your career. All right. Contrast that with waking up at whatever time you do now, kind of rolling out of bed, getting ready for work, taking care of family, friends, doing all this other stuff. And then you go to work, you take care of your employer, your employees, you deal with them, you got a commute coming home or whatever your work situation is. And then you try to work on your art business at the end of the day when you're tired, you're hungry, you just want to go to bed, right? Just that one shift right there, focusing on your goals first while you are refreshed and giving the best version of yourself to your goals will transform your career, okay? Some artists want to know, can I do this from anywhere in the world? Of course. So Miss Joy is in Canada. We are in the US. As long as you got a Wi-Fi connection, you can tap into the community and join from anywhere in the world, all right? What if I'm just getting started? Listen, this is a great question as well, because I actually think if you're just getting started, you have an advantage over many artists because you don't have any bad habits to unlearn, okay? And so I love to use this story to illustrate that. So when Tierra became an affluent artist, she really inspired her sons to want to paint and make money with their art, right? And so she ended up taking them through the program, teaching them about finances, making profit, creating mission statements, buying supplies, setting goals, creating their art stories. And so these kids were 2, 5, and 7 years old at the time. And they had a goal to make $250, but with the support of their family and friends, they made over $500, man. It's absolutely amazing. Like, imagine if you had someone in your life invest into you in this way, and you were taught how to sell art from an early age, and somebody really encouraged your dreams, right? A lot of us would be in very different places in life. Some artists want to know, is the process too hard or technical? So no, right? Miss Valerie, she was 68 when she joined. She sold over $10,000 in the first 4 months, all right? And so if a 68-year-old grandmother and senior can do it, you can do it. She said the programs work. She was taking her time to learn the new apps, but if she can do it, you can as well, all right? And so artists, as we close out, if you got a question, type it in the chat. But I want you to just be reminded that when you want things in life, like, we got to get the resources, or we got to figure out how to be resourceful and get it, okay? And so Miss Stacy, when she first joined, like, she was having some financial issues, but she decided that she was going to be resourceful and get what she needed to become an affluent artist. And she was so happy she did. When she joined, she said, yes, it works. She said, I made my call to a friend that said she wanted these paintings when she was done. Miss Stacy sold her all 3 of them for $600, all right? And then another marvelous thing starts happening when you surround yourself with winners. And so because Miss Stacy was in the affluent artist community, she learning all kind of things about art and events and having relationships. And one of the things that happened is she ended up got accepted to present her art at the Phoenix Hotel at an opening. And so this was a big, big deal that was running in her local city in Phoenix, right? And so she went from struggling, trying to figure out how to sell her art, to her art being shown at hotel exhibits, man. So it's a powerful, powerful transformation. And I love that I'm have the opportunity to be a part of it. Some artists want to know, is there too much competition? So listen, absolutely not. So Miss Tasha, she sold Hallelujah Sister for over $1,000. Diana, she sold this piece. And if you know collectors, you know they buy all kind of art from all different types of people. So if you were to look around my home, I got so many different pieces of art from different artists. Man, collectors just love to buy what they like. And so all affluent artists know that abundance is our birthright, and we can make as much money as we want. There's more than enough to go around, all right? The artwork commission is only 10%, all right? And while we're proud of that commission, the most important thing is you get to keep your collectors' data, all right? That's the most important thing. You get to keep your collectors' that data. Because sometimes when you do business with galleries and dealers, not only do they take 25 to 50% of your money, they often do not give you the collector's information because they don't want you to build a direct relationship with that collector. Okay. And so we actually want you to build direct, lifelong relationships with your collectors. And so this is why we give you all of their information. Okay. What budget do I need for ads? So you can get started with as little as $5 a day on ads. All right. If your ads are getting collectors and helping you sell art, you obviously want to increase your ad spend as you can afford to, but you can get started with as little as $5 a day. And so artists, being a full-time artist absolutely beats working a 9 to 5, man. I know if you sold any art at any price points, man, you know that feeling that you're getting from making money from your creativity, it definitely beats working a 9 to 5. And so Mia was discovering that as well. She started selling $2,000 commissions to collectors to create art for their 2-year-old bedrooms. And this piece right here, I absolutely love this piece with the heart balloons. Like, man, and you can't see the bottom, but it's just absolutely an amazing piece. And when you start selling art for $2,000, a lot of people, they make that in a month, right? You do one of those a week, like that'll change your life, okay? And community support really is what creates that success habit. And so I've seen it time and time again where artists join the community and you surround yourself with other winners and you get inspired because it's like, man, if they can do that, I know I can do that. Whoa, they selling at this price. I know I can raise my price. And everyone is sharing what works. And so instead of just like being at home on your own, trying to figure this stuff out yourself, man, you really want to join a community of artists that are helping you succeed. And that's where the real wins and success happens. Okay. Because man, if you've been searching on Google, Instagram, YouTube, reading books, going to events or conferences, watching videos, information alone is not enough. All right. You need mentorship, you need guidance, you need a step-by-step process. You need a community to help you when you feel like you're getting stuck or you need questions answered. And so if you're ready to get booked and busy like Miss Toya, when she posted this soul post, man, enroll and join our team at affluentartist.com. All right. And so as we close out, artists, you got to ask yourself, like, do you want money or do you want excuses? Because you cannot have both. And so like my guy, John Tate Drew, he decided that he wanted money. So he figured out how to invest into himself and become an affluent artist. And he sold his $2,000 lamb piece to this lovely couple right here. Okay. And you got to really start calculating like the true cost of inaction. All right. People think procrastination and not doing anything is free. It's not, though. All right. Because what if this helped you start selling just one piece per week? Like, regardless of your price point, would it be worth $1.60 per day? Of course it would. Right. But what's the true cost of inaction? Right. Like, is it really worth missing months of art sales because you're trying to save $1.60 per day? Right. If you're missing art sales in June, July, August, September, October, rolling into the holiday months of this year where some of the biggest art sales happen, like, man, is it worth procrastinating, not investing into yourself and continuing to miss out on all of that revenue that you could be making? Okay. Because if you follow one of the steps I shared on today's event, you can make a profit in the first week when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. Also, you can ask your family and friends to invest into you. To get the resources that you need. In my experience, people are much more open to investing into you when they know that you have a plan. All right. And then we also got PayPal can invest into you with their PayPal credit option. So you can go to paypal.com/credit to apply. And they have a really good program where you have no payments and no interest if you pay it off in full in 6 months. All right. So you can join and become an affluent artist today. And you got 6 full months to use the system. Set up your automated collector system, get collectors coming to you to buy your art and pay them back and tell them thank you for investing into your career. Okay. And then again, when you go to affluentartist.com, you can use the buy now, pay later options with the Firm, Afterpay, or Klarna. If you decide to use Klarna, they got one of the most flexible payment plans for 24 payments of only $47.96 per month. All right. When you go to affluentartist.com, and sign up. I'm gonna show you how to check out and use that option here in a second. All right. So affluent artists, listen, the time is now, man. I'm inspired by a story when I helped Miss West because she said, so often have I been told that my prices are too high. And after so much time and money spent on coaching and marketing, trying to find my target audience, I was still struggling to make the high ticket sales that I wanted. After connecting with Sherez and noting and actively implementing the wisdom that I learned, without negotiation or hesitation, this collector purchased this piece at my $1,200 asking price. I am beyond grateful for the knowledge and the quick turnaround. All right. And so when you work with us, if you are coachable and you take action, you implement the wisdom, you can get a quick turnaround like Miss Raquel West here, okay? And so I'm excited, man. Let's accomplish your dreams together, because as a fellow artist, like, I know your struggle with selling art is real. But when it's gone from your life, like, how will you feel? How much better will your life be? Like, think about that. How much stress is working a job and never having enough money causing your mind and your body right now? All right. Because after you join, it's like poof, it's gone. All right. And I want you to feel that difference. All right. It starts by going to the link below and joining now at affluentartist.com. If you need help ordering, text join to 470-777-7549. So I'm going to come out and let's walk you through the checkout process real quick. And let me show you exactly how to get signed up. All right. So when you go to affluentartist.com, it's going to bring you to our order page. All right. And at the top, it says, yes, Sharess, I'm in. You have a little bit over 72 hours before this special discount expires. So make sure that you get your order in before the clock hits 0. And then we also give a recap of the order. We show the 110% money back guarantee. And all you got to do is put in your name, your email, your phone number, your address, and choose your payment. Okay? You want the 94% off for $9.99. Choose that option. We also have a one-to-one done with you program for $4K. You can choose that option as well. And if you'd like to speak with our team on a one-to-one fast success call, just check that box right there and add that to your order as well. Okay. And so when you check out, you can use PayPal at checkout. You can also put your 16-digit card number, expiration, month and year, your 3-digit security code, and then your zip code. All right. If you like to use the buy now, pay later option, you can use Klarna Afterpay. If you click learn more, you see that they got 24 payments of only $47.96. You can get started there. All right. So after you check that, just click join now and go through the full sign up process with every one of the buy now, pay later options that you use. Okay. All right. Awesome. So we can do one last recap. I don't see any questions in the chat. So let's get started now. Artists, excited to have you all in the program. Enroll at affluentartist.com. When you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses for getting started today. All right. So you get that luxury pricing method so you can charge your worth and get paid for it. You're going to get that automated collector system so we can get new interested collectors coming to you 24/7. You're also going to be able to find your collectors live with me so we can set up your art ads and target those high income collectors. All right. So that's a total value of over $10,600, but you can join today for a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. If you need help ordering, text join to 470-777-7549. All right. I don't see any questions in the chat, so we're going to get up out of here. Peace and much love to you. Congrats to everybody that signed up. Make sure you check your email for your receipt and your welcome email to get access to everything in the Affluent Artist Masterclass. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Peace.